Rango, whose only loss was to Ricky Hatton. It was about 4 fights ago. Since then, or 5 fights ago. Since then, he's 4-0. He's fought some decent guys. A muscular guy, and he looks more like a wrestler or something, not a boxer. But he's a tough guy. He packs a wallop, and Berto. I like Berto. I think we
both like Berto.
I think we agree on this one. But it's not going to be an easy fight. And you've got the number 4 welterweight in Berto against the number 5 light welterweight. He's coming up, but he's a big guy anyway. Like I said, he's got a big frame. We'll see what happens. I think we think Berto, but I don't think we think Berto's going to knock him out, or that he's going to...
Yeah, I don't think he'll knock him out. It'll probably be like a Clauso fight. It'd be a great fight. Probably go the distance, and he should win on points.
We'll see. That'll be
If he does knock him out, then he jumps right up in my book, up with the Mosleys and the Pacquiaos.
That's May 30th on HBO. That's free. On the undercard of that fight is going to be a very interesting fight that I think we're also both excited to see.
Another guy who doesn't duck anybody, Citron.
Citron, we'll see. He's tried to rebuild himself a couple times before, and every time he's kind of gone up and to try to get to that next rung on the ladder, he gets knocked down a couple places. I see him getting knocked down again on down the ladder on this fight, and Angulo El Perro really hurting him, and I hope he doesn't hurt him too much, because I like Citron. The same way I like Hatton. I was kind of glad to see him go out early instead of a long sustained fight where you got a bunch of damage you didn't need, and cuts or anything like that. So I think we disagree on this one.
Yeah,
I think you really like Citron for whatever reason.
Yeah, because he got into boxing late. He shows up to fight. He doesn't duck anybody. He fights the tough guys. Sergio Martinez, 2 fights with your boy. I forgot his name already. He's been out of boxing for a while. What's his name?
Costazu?
No, the Mexican guy that got caught with the... Margarito, that's it.
Jeez, the Mexican guy.
So he lost 2 fights. So the guy cheated, but that's okay.
He was
but Angulo, I don't think he's that good.
It was only that fight. It was only that fight. Okay, with where they had that.
Well, he only got caught once, but doesn't mean he didn't do it more than once.
Yeah.
Citron, I like him. He shows up, he fights, he doesn't duck anybody, he goes for the tough guys. He may not always win. I think he had a draw in his last fight. He probably lost that fight, but the other guy did more dancing than he should have, and if he was that good, he would have beat Citron, but he did.
We'll see what happens. It's as you hear in boxing a lot, it's a crossroads fight. Berto going to go to the next level. Citron, if he beats a young stud like Andre Berto, he's going to...
No, Citron's Angulo.
I'm sorry, Citron Angulo.
So you got an up-and-comer against a guy who's more or less fallen into the journeyman category.
He needs to
like
a
Glenn Johnson type guy, where you don't want to fight him because he's got a puncher's chance, but you got to fight him to see how good you are.
I like Citron too, but he is no Glenn Johnson. I'll tell you that right now. I hope he does good. I hope he doesn't get hurt. He's a nice guy, but we'll see. I'm going with Angulo Perro. I've seen him fight.
What round?
I would say that I'd probably be maybe between 7 and 10 when it's stopped. Angulo is just a vicious man, and I think he's going to show that. I think he's got a big target there with Citron, and Citron's
he goes to the body good.
Citron's never been a guy where he's used his reach to his advantage, and and like I said, it's the same kind of fight that he's been in, where he's fought Margarito a second time, where he's come back, and it's just...
you think Angulo's as good as Margarito? I mean, they're the same style.
Actually, I think they're really the same style. It's a young version of Margarito. I think there's only
one. You think Angulo could take a punch like Margarito?
I think there's only one Margarito. I don't know. I don't think he's definitely as tested as Margarito and fighting a lot of top-notch guys. But interesting fight. It's definitely great to see not just one good fight happening, but 2, and it's for free.
That's the best part about it.
That's the best part. The other fight we've got going on, I think early June, is, again, not to spend too much time with it, but Ruslan Chugayev against the number 3.
Say that 3 times fast.
The number 3 heavyweight against the big freak of
the green
boxing,
giant.
the big green giant. Nikolai Valuev. So we'll see what happens there. That hopefully brings more clarity to the heavyweight division.
Another boring 12-round decision.
2 Europeans. I mean, Sergeyev is a pretty big, good guy. So I think you should take Valuev out and then maybe move on to bigger
You calling
fights.
a knockout?
I don't know. No, I don't think it's everyone. It's tough to knock out that guy. I don't think
Yeah, I
anyone's
don't even
knocked
know
him
if
out.
you can reach him.
But anyway, I think those are both on right around the same time, late May, early June,
Yeah.
and on HBO.
So if you're going out of town, that's a good weekend to get out of town.
June 13th. This is the next, I think, biggest fight. Even though we like that Berto Urango,
Citron
Angulo card, this Cotto Claudio. I mean, that's real interesting.
Now, is this more of a journeyman against a prize fighter?
No,
Is
no.
Claudio more like a Glenn Johnson?
No, Claudio's an up and comer. I think he's been
Up and
around there.
comer?
He's never graduated. I think we're talking about
It's like the Corte.
we're talking about how we're talking about Cintron and him being a guy who never quite lived up to his potential. I think he's disappointed in a lot of ways. Where Cintron, Claudio has never really disappointed. He hasn't taken that next step, and I think he takes it here in the Cotto fight, win or lose. I like him to win.
He's tough.
I like him to win as an upset. You look at those odds. I don't know what they are, but I take him. Cotto, I think he wasn't tested enough in this last run that he had against Michael who knows who Jennings, and I think he had a vicious fight with Margarito, and
he beat Mosley before that, and he beat Molinari before that, and he's beat pretty much everybody except cheating Margarito. So
hey, you know what?
That's just my spot.
This is the Paul Williams fan club president.
Paul Williams beat Margarito too.
Of course, he's going to say that. But the thing is I think it's interesting fight. Number 2, number 4. It's in New York, where Cotto has a following of Puerto Ricans,
right there.
and I think that. I'm not sure where Claudio is from, but he's 5-0 since that fight in 2006 with Margarito. And
I like Claudio,
and his hand hurt in that fight. So, you could say healthy Claudio against a Margarito at that time, closer than it was. I mean, he took him the distance, I believe, and won a decision. Margarito against Claudio in 06. So we'll see. Again, I'm going with Claudio on the upset. But and if you see Cotto win, I think again.
That's good. That means he's ready to move on and
put Margarito behind him. I'd love to see a Margarito Cotto fight. Part 2 where it's an even playing field, so to speak, or there's no questions, and I really think that probably Margarito is looking for that too. So you'll see that maybe in 2010. Who knows? We'll see.
Hopefully he's looking for one of the guys that beat him, like a Mosley or a Paul Williams, but he probably won't be.
Yeah. Well, again, you go where the money's at. Okay. Yeah. That's where it's at.
Well, yeah. I think I like Cotto in this one. Claudio's a good fighter. I think he's tough. He throws a good punch. He takes a good punch. Cotto throws a good punch. He takes a decent punch, but I think his boxing skill, as he demonstrated against Mosley, he's just quicker to the punch than Mosley, which means he'll be quicker than Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
Claudio was able to hit Margarito because he's not really trying to get out of the way, but Cotto, a little bit smaller, I think he beats him. Yeah, I think he gets a decision. And
again, I think you talk about Cotto Claudio. I think you think that Claudio is. Hey, sweetie, Garage Boxing. Here it is. It's live.
It's live on a Tuesday night.
Say goodnight.
Good night.
Okay. Run in with your mommy, sweetie. So,
hey.
Sweetie.
Big shit.
Okay. So anyhow. So hey, thanks for joining us on Garage Boxing. We're gonna
I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
We're gonna have to wrap it up now, and I think that again, lots of good boxing out there. Okay?
Daddy, who's that?
And all these predictions came on May 12th.
Who's that?
So we'll see who's right, who's wrong.
That?
And
Daddy,
you heard it here first.
Tuesday, May 12th. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next on Garage Boxing. Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.